Hello and welcome to today's video. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a Springboot app with Spring Initialize. Springboot offers a fast way to build Java applications. It allows the developer to focus more on the business features and less on the infrastructure. It gives you the ability to create standalone applications, does not require XML configurations, and reduces the time you spend on development. It generally increases the overall efficiency of the developer. It is an extension of Spring to make the development, testing, and deployment more convenient. In order to go through this tutorial successfully, you'll need to have an IDE installed. You also need to have a JDK 1.8 or later, and it is expected that you also have Maven 3.2. To download your IDEs, you can download Spring Toolset, or you can even download the IntelliJ IDEA. For Maven, you can, if you don't have Maven installed on your machine, you can also visit this link to have it downloaded. For this project, we've chosen Maven as a build tool. So I'll just take you through a brief description of what Maven is and why we've chosen it for this specific project. So Maven is a tool for building and managing any Java-based project. And the main objectives on which this Maven was created was to make the build process easy. It does this by shielding developers from many underlying details so that the developers can focus on building their business logic. It also provides a uniform build system. It builds a project using its project object model or a POM file and a set of plugins. So once you familiarize yourself with a Maven project, you know how all Maven projects will build. This will save you time when navigating the many projects. Maven also provides useful project information that in part can be taken from the POM file and in part generated from the project sources. For instance, we can be able to get changelogs created directly from source control. We can also get mailing lists managed by the project. We can be able to see the dependencies used by the project, and we can also get the unit test reports, including the coverage. Maven aims to gather current principles for best practices development and make it easy to guide project in that direction. It also assists in project workflow such as release and issue management. It suggests some guidelines on how to lay out a project's directory structure. So to start the project, I'm going to visit this link, the highlighted link here, and this brings you to this page. So here I'll select so to start the project, I'll click on this link and it brings you to this web page. First, I'll select the Maven project. Secondly, you need to pick the language. For this project, I'm going to use the Java programming language. We are not using Gradle for our case, so you just keep it at Maven. We pick the current version, the latest version of Springboot, which is 2.67 at the time of recording this video. We also need to enter some project metadata for the project. So the group here is an element that indicates the unique identifier of the organization or group that is creating the project. So you can have any unique name here. So for instance, you can have the name of the organization here. You can have the name of the organization here. So I'll just leave it at example for demo purposes. The artifact is an element that indicates the unique base name of the primary artifact being generated by this project. The primary artifact in this case is a jar file. The name indicates the name of the project, so I'll leave it at demo. And this gives the description of the project. So I'll leave the description as this is demo project. The package name on the other hand, refers to the name of your package that will group your classes together. So when in Java you can create different packages to group your classes together. We'll also choose the Java runtime, which we will use at least Java 8 for this project. Once that is done, you need to select the dependencies. For this case, we just need to add one dependency for Spring Web from this list. Once this is done, you can click on generate button. On clicking on this, it will download the project into your PC. You can then extract the project and load it into your IDE. So I'll just go ahead and download it. Click on yes. Once you import your project on your IDE, this is how the structure looks like. So we have the sources folder. So this is the parent folder that contains our project. We have the sources folder, and here you'll notice this is the package name that we had specified. We have a demo application here, which is the entry point of our app when you run it with Springboot. So this will be the entry point. The resources folder will contain the application configuration properties file, where you can specify the application port, the database connection details, and other configurations that you may want for your app. You may also choose to put HTML templates inside there, or even static files like CSS files and JavaScript files. We also have one important folder for storing our tests. So this is where you can specify your own tests, for unit tests for running the application. And then we have the POM file. So this is where you specify the Maven dependencies and also the other details that we had specified, like the group ID, the artifact ID, and the version, also the name of the artifact ID that will be generated. So looking at the demo application, I'm just going to take you through an explanation on what some of these annotations do. So looking at the first one, this annotation Springboot application, what this does is it's a convenience annotation that adds a number of configurations automatically. The class demo application.java, being the main application entry point, has a number of very important annotations. One of them is the @Springboot application annotation, which is a convenience annotation that adds all of the following configurations. First one is @configuration, which tags the class as a source of bin definitions for the application context. It also has @enable auto configuration, which informs Springboot to start adding bins based on the class path settings, various property settings, and other bins. @component scans tells Springboot to look for other components, configurations, and services in the specified package. The main method uses Springboot's application.run method to launch an application. So we'll go ahead and create a demo controller that we will use to build our sample API. So I'll create a demo controller. Yeah. So the first annotation that we need to add to it is to add a REST controller. So what this does is it ensures that the application is ready for use by Spring MVC to handle any web requests. So it ensures that the class is marked and it is ready for use by Spring MVC to handle any web requests that will be coming to this application. So the next thing that we need to create is to add a method. So we'll add a method here, a public. So in our method we expect it to return a list of customers. So we'll add a list of customers and call it get customers. So I'll do and import this from the util class. So first thing is I'll create a list. So this list will hold, so this is only for demo purposes. In an ideal scenario, we would be getting this from a database or a permanent data store. So I'll do customers.add. This is adding an item to the list. So I'll put some random names there. Add another name there, and at the end of it we want to return the list of customers. So this will, so something else we need to add on this method is an annotation mapping, and we specify the path there is to add a slash. So what this does is get mapping maps the forward slash to the get customers method, and it will return a list of customers when invoked from a browser or curl or postman, from whichever HTTP client you're using to invoke. So once this is done, we'll run our application, and to run this you just need to open a terminal. So for my case I have a terminal within the IDE, and you run it with the Maven command and do spring and run it. I've misspelled the command, let me type it properly. So if you have 0 errors, you should be able to run the application, and you can see there that we are told it starts at port 80. Finally, to test our application, I'm going to go to a browser and type localhost with the port and try to access it. Yes, so we should be able to get a list of our users there. Thank you so much for watching the video. Stay tuned to get more videos like this. You can comment and subscribe.